Afternoon, and thanks for tuning into our last segment of the week with Lending a Helping Hand. This week's segment, we were speaking on poverty. Last episode, we spoke with Suzanne Donovan from Step Up Savannah. And today, we'll be speaking with Sister Pat from St. Mary's Community Center right off 36th Street. I think we still have her sitting up right now. Oh, okay. We got her. Good afternoon, Sister Pat. Well, we're going to get right into the discussion. My first question for you is, when we say that someone is living in poverty, what are we really speaking about?
Actually, it's a big misnomer. The poverty line, and I'll give you an example. When we talk about the poor, those who live in poverty, we're talking about the people who fit in this category only. So for example, right now, if you are a single person and you make less than $11,000, you are considered poor. You are considered living in poverty. But if you happen to make $11,001, you're no longer poor. So, is that true? I don't think so.
Right.
But the statistics only show the people who are fitting in under that line. But we know in reality that from that line way up to probably 200, 300, 400% of the federal poverty level are also struggling to make ends meet. Just because you make $1 more than the line doesn't mean you're no longer in need of assistance. So if you looked at the census, the United States Census for Savannah, and you looked at what percentage of the city of Savannah's population makes less than 50,000, it's almost 50%. Now, 50,000 is not much. If you looked at how many make less than 35,000, I mean, there is a huge number. Is that not a better understanding of people who need assistance, who are living with a lack of resources? Poverty means you have a lack of resources. It's not just the cutoff line here, but it's a much bigger problem.
How do you feel as a city or community can we begin to decrease poverty?
Well, I think the very first thing we have to do is educate, which is exactly what you're doing. Mm-hmm. We have to make people aware that poverty statistics are not numbers. They're people. They're children. They're your grandmother. They're your uncle. They're your mother. And that this line, a line that somebody said, if you're on this side, you're poor, on this side, you're not poor. We know that that's not true. So it's important that first we educate, we make our community aware of how many people are living in this huge gap that have lack of resources. If you make even 30,000, and they take 30,000 might be your gross, but we all know what Uncle Sam and the state does. They put their hands in your pocket and take some money out. Okay, so your take-home pay is much less than that. And what's housing? What is decent housing cost? In Savannah, it's probably close to $1,000 a month for decent, safe housing. Now, can you get substandard housing? Yes. But I'm saying decent, safe housing. A lot of people are struggling. More people than we realize.
The resources that are given to help individuals in poverty encourages people to stay in poverty, or do you feel as though it's really helping us decrease poverty?
I don't think they encourage people to stay in poverty. I think the systems we have keep people in poverty. If every child that was born if every child that was born in Savannah had the right to good nutritional food, but do they? No. If every child that was born had the right to good quality education, do they?
No.
If the playing field started more equally, then you could say it. If the minimum wage was $10 or $12 or $15, would people need food stamps? But how can you put food on the table when you work for $7.25 and make $15,000 gross? That's not take home. $15,000 gross. So by the time you talk about take home, housing, food, I mean, there's not enough money.
I totally agree with you on that. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back and we'll continue our discussion on poverty. Stop losing your hair and hairlines at the hands of stylists who do not practice the techniques proven to not cause damage while wearing long-term braids or twist styles. The Nappy Hut is Savannah's first exclusive hair care salon and braid shop. Located at 5224 Skidaway Road, Savannah, Georgia, the salon is quaint yet cozy, mature, soothing, and professional. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, a cup of coffee, or a beverage while you await your services. We'll look forward to serving you and being blessed with your services.
Have a great time. Savannah's nightlife is back. Calling all SCAD, Armstrong, and Savannah State students to the hottest bar in the city. Dosha Lounge is open 6 days a week until 3 a.m. Yes, I said it, 3 a.m. Bright lights, comfortable couches, and a cool atmosphere. Did we mention the full top shelf bar with reasonable prices? Happy hour 4 to 8, Monday through Friday. So come see us at 128 East Broughton Street today. We'll have a shot waiting for you.
Looking for some good old down south home cooked chicken? Well, you've come to the right place. Northern Chicken Express offers a variety of your favorite chicken dinners, from the 2-piece dark meat chicken with fries for only $2.99 to the 3-piece mix with fries for a little less than $6. With down south southern hospitality, Northern Chicken Express ensures that you'll leave with a smile and a plate full of chicken. Visit us at 3125 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia, or call in.
Welcome back. We're still having our discussion with Sister Pat from St. Mary's Community Center. For the ones who are not familiar with St. Mary's Community Center, what do you guys offer?
So we have St. Mary's Community Center, and we're also anchored with St. Mary's Health Center. So even though we're not physically building side by side, we're a mile apart, but there's a steady stream of people going back and forth, and this is the reason why. St. Mary's Community Center deals with what I would, in health circles, are called the social determinants of health. So we help people, we have a workforce developer. So we know that if people have jobs, and if they have jobs that's more than $7.25 an hour, they have a greater likelihood of being able to afford a better place to live, medicines, access to health care, all of that. So we do that. We have a partnership with Savannah Technical College where students come and earn their GED, and along with earning their GED, they receive a professional certificate as a PCT. And then they are guaranteed an interview at St. Joseph Candler. So we have a preschool because we know that education is important, and we can't wait until high school or grade school. It has to start at the very young age. We have 3- and 4-year-olds, and if they're not ready for school by the time they reach 5, they enter the school room already 2 and 3 years behind. So we have a preschool. We help people with public benefits. We know that while you're struggling to learn a skill, or even if you have a minimum wage job, that you need some assistance. So we help people apply for food stamps, for CAP, which is the child care voucher, Medicare, Medicaid. Those are important helps. We help do people's taxes for free. Last year, we did over 600 people's taxpayers' taxes for free and refunded more than $1.4 million. Now, why is that important? Because that refund money goes directly, every penny of it goes directly back to the people. And what do the people do? They spend it on the local economy, buying the necessities that they need. So it helps the individual, helps the community. So that's some of what the community center does. The health center, we send people to our health center because our health center is a free primary medical home for the uninsured of low income. You can't work. You can't have a good quality of life if you're suffering from asthma, if you're suffering from diabetes or high blood pressure. So we send the people who come into the community center for good health care. The healthcare people send their patients to us because they need better jobs. They need public benefits. They need counseling. So there's always this back and forth. So it's a more holistic approach to health.
Feel as though poverty is a poor choice that we make as individuals, or is it something that we basically have no control over?
Do you make a choice to work 40 hours busting your butt and being paid only $7.25? Do you make that choice?
Exactly.
Do you make the choice that you can go on to college? Do you make that choice? Or is somebody saying, you can't do this, this is not an opportunity that's open to you because you don't have the money? So, yes. Do we all make choices? Yes. Do we all make good choices and bad choices? We all make some bad choices that makes our situation worse. But the truth is, what really keeps people down with lack of resources is we have taken away options. We have taken away opportunity. So it's a system. It's a system. It's policies. Here's a policy. This is true. In the city of Savannah, you can live in a condemned house. And you can be charged rent for living in a condemned house. Now, what does a condemned house mean?
It's pretty much about to...
Uninhabitable by human people. Okay. But the landlord can charge you rent for living in that condemned house as long as he tells you. Now, so what's the problem there? Because the person looking for housing, they're making the wrong choice because they only have so much money to pay for available to them for housing? Or, is he making a choice? Is the city ordinances making a choice? If the city ordinances say it's okay for people to live in these kinds of houses, whose fault is that? The person's?
No.
Well, that's just an example.
Because I know we caught you at a busy time of your day. What are your last remarks to this week's segment on poverty?
This is what each of you who are seeing me, each of us in our community, this is what we can do. We can educate ourselves and make ourselves aware of the reality of our community. Once we are aware, then we're all responsible for each other.
That's true.
What can I do personally? What can I personally do? Is it help somebody practice for the GED test? Is it coming in and reading a book to a preschooler. Every one of us can do something. I'm not saying writing a check. I'm saying get personally involved. Educate yourself, become aware, and respond. Put your presence in value. Put your presence where your values are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of today's episode. I hope that you, my audience, has taken in all the knowledge that has been given to you for this week on poverty. Poverty, again, is one of the biggest problems a lot of us face day to day. We stand together on big problems such as wrongful murder or getting businesses put in our community. Why won't we stand together and start erasing poverty one step at a time? Take responsibility and then take control. Again, I'm your host, Erica D, and thank you for tuning in to this week's segment of Lending a Helping Hand with our discussion on poverty. See you soon.